All right, guys. So as many of you are aware of, today is 9/11, which is a day that all of us as Americans should be able to put our political differences aside and mourn the deaths of those who lost their lives during the 9/11 attacks. However, the Unity-crats, or the so-called Unity-crats, simply refuse to do that, okay? As Kamala Harris here did an interview with Chuck Todd, and she was asked a couple of questions that should be easy questions to answer if you're supposed to be the party of unifying, right? Or at the very least, you would think that you would put your political attacks aside just for one day to say, hey, this is 9/11. This was a day where all Americans were attacked. You know, it was an attack on everybody regardless of your political beliefs. Let's not go here, right? But Chuck Todd actually went there by basically asking Kamala Harris if the threats from within this country, and you guys already know who he's talking about here. He's talking about people that politically disagree with the Democrats, are a bigger threat to this country today than the people that committed 9/11. And Kamala Harris absolutely bombs when answering this question. Take a look.
Look, we're at the 21st marking, if you will, of the September 11th attacks.
Yeah.
This was a foreign terrorist attacking our democracy,
Yeah.
attacking this country.
Yeah.
We're now, as a nation, battling a threat from within. Is the threat equal or greater than what we faced after 9/11?
That's an interesting question. I have held many elected offices as district attorney, attorney general, senator, now vice president, and there's an oath that we always take, which is to defend and uphold our Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. We don't compare the two in the oath, but we know they both can exist, and we must defend against it.
Yeah, so propaganda artist Chuck Todd asked a question that, quite honestly, I don't understand how you can fix your lips to ask a question like this and call yourself a real journalist, right? In which he says, is the internal threats to this country, and you guys already know what he means by internal threats, aka people who politically disagree with Democrats, are they a greater threat to this country than the threats that we face after 9/11, aka the threats that we face from foreign terrorists? The simple answer to that question from Kamala Harris should be no, right? There's no internal threats, okay, in this country. The American people are not more of a threat to this country than a foreign terrorist, regardless of their political belief. And if I was Kamala Harris, I actually would have checked Chuck Todd on that question and say that question is totally inappropriate. Don't ever ask me a question like that again. Don't ask me a question like that again. Because we're not going to sit here and compare the American people to foreign terrorist groups. I don't care if I disagree with them politically. That is what somebody who's trying to unify this country would come out here and say. That is the easiest question in the world, and Kamala Harris just gave the stupidest answer I've seen in my life, outside of just saying yeah and outright agree, in which she just basically tries to dodge but also not dodge. It's like a dodge and a wink and a nod, like wink wink. I took an oath of office to defend the Constitution from enemies, foreign and domestic, right? AKA, we're going to defend ourselves from these domestic terrorists that we have in this country, AKA people that don't politically agree with me. That's exactly what she's saying. That's exactly what she's saying. And again, that's rich. It's really funny coming from the party that is trying to tear down the Supreme Court because they don't like the decisions of the Supreme Court, right? They're trying to tear down a constitutionally established institution, right? But these are the guys trying to uphold the Constitution. Yeah, right, sure. So moving on to the next part of this interview, Chuck Todd also asked Kamala Harris another layup question that is an easy answer if you're truly trying to unify the country and not divide people, by asking Kamala about the Democrats and their blatant hypocrisy of claiming that so-called MAGA Republicans are a threat to democracy while at the same time actively funding their campaigns. And Chuck Todd asked Kamala Harris about that and if she would do that herself, or if she supported what these Democrats were doing. And Kamala Harris, unsurprisingly, lays an egg. Take a look.
There has been that But there are moments in time when we have to also agree, all good people who care about our country, that there are those who right now are vividly not defending our democracy. And I think we want that our commander-in-chief, that the President of the United States, will speak up and raise the alarm about what this means to our strength and our future, much less our integrity.
I'm curious, when you see the Democratic Party and some parts of the party funding ads to promote some of these election deniers in primaries, whether it's Michigan, the high-profile race there, Illinois, Colorado, New Hampshire, it looks like a little bit cynical. And the president went out of his way to say there are good Republicans here. Should you leave the good Republicans alone in a primary? Is the Democratic Party making a mistake here by those people could win if you're not careful?
I mean, listen, I'm not going to tell people how to run their campaigns. I ran in terms of statewide office.
Would you have done this? Would you have done this? Is this something you'd be comfortable with?
I'm not going to tell people how to run their campaigns, Chuck. I ran for a statewide for Attorney General, re-election, won both times, for Senate, won that race, and I know that it is best to let a candidate, along with their advisors, let them make the decision based on what they believe is in the best interest of their state. I'm not going to tell people what to do.
You're not worried that this reflects poorly on the Democrats?
I think that what we have to focus on is that in 60 days as of this interview, in less than 2 months.
Yeah, so Kamala basically goes on to deflect and try to change the subject, talking about a woman's constitutional right to abortion and all this other stuff, right? But again, another question from Chuck Todd that is an easy answer from Kamala Harris. The simple answer to that question from Kamala Harris is no, I don't support that. I don't think that we should be funding people's campaigns who we're also going out here and saying are the biggest threat to this country, are comparing to foreign terrorist groups. Yeah, we probably should not be funding their campaigns if we don't want to look like hypocrites, because that's exactly what you look like. You're a hypocrite. And it also shows that you're not serious about the things that you say. That the things that you're saying them purely for politics and not because you actually believe those things. Because if you actually believe those things, there's no way that you would take the chance that somebody that you deem as a threat to democracy is going to win an election. If anything, since you believe in the good Republicans so much, right, why don't you fund their campaigns, right? If you're going to fund somebody on the opposite side of the aisle, right, and you claim that there are good Republicans out there, right, that you're trying to fund and promote and prop up, right, you want two parties, right, a good Republican Party, a healthy Republican Party, and a healthy Democrat Party. Why aren't you funding so-called good Republicans? Well, the reason why is because it's not about that, right? It's not about the attack on democracy. That's BS. What it's about is Democrat power and control, right? They don't care about taking the chance of the same people that they claim are a so-called threat to democracy winning because they feel like they got a better chance of beating those people. Which, in my opinion, hey, I wouldn't be so certain about that. If I was a Democrat, I would not be betting on this idea that you're going to sweep all these so-called MAGA/Trump Republicans. I don't think so, okay? Because I'm pretty sure that those Trump/MAGA Republicans are a lot more energized and fired up to come out and vote than the progressive base of the Democrat Party, which is what they need to win. So again, this is something that could epically and massively backfire on them, but Kamala Harris won't come out here and say what needs to be said, which is that no, you shouldn't do that, right? You shouldn't be doing that. Again, easy layup answer right there. Nah, I'm going to deflect, right? I'm going to deflect when called out on my hypocrisy. But my whole point, guys, is that even on a day like today, 9/11, a day that I think that we can put our political differences aside and say, hey, you know what? Let's stop attacking each other. Let's focus on what all unifies us, which is the fact that we are American. No, we can't do that. Democrats can't do that. They have to continue to not only attack another side of the political aisle, but also escalate the rhetoric. Kamala Harris can do something as simple as say, nah, I'm not going to sit here and try to say that any American is a bigger threat to this country than, you know, a foreign terrorist organization. She couldn't even do that. Couldn't even do it. This is how partisan and divisive and hateful the Democrat Party has become. That even the head of the Democrat Party, the leaders of the Democrat Party, they're just openly just calling people who disagree with them, you know, foreign terrorists, right? Or comparing them to foreign terrorists, or saying that we have to deal with these threats, whatever that means, right? What does that mean? We have to deal with these threats as if they are foreign terrorists. It's absolutely shameful, man. Again, especially on a day like today. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.